Here at the Science People, we talk a lot about body language, but I wanted to talk today about a specific kind of body language. We get asked about pickpocketing and the body language and nonverbal tells of pickpockets. So I'm here with Danielle Baker, and we're going to share some insider tips. She just was on a big trip in Europe, and she got to experience some tips firsthand, so we're going to share those with you. But first, we have a little question.
Our first trivia question is, what are the top cities in the world to watch out for pickpocketing?
Think of your cities. Okay, you are right if you guessed number 1, Barcelona, Spain, Rome, Italy, Prague, Madrid, Paris, Florence, ton of European cities, Buenos Aires, Amsterdam, Athens, and Hanoi. So those are the top 10 cities. If you're in those cities or if you're traveling to those cities, you have to be aware of pickpockets. And there's a couple of interesting areas where you should think about too. This is our next question for you, which is...
So what are the top locations that pickpocketing happens?
Think about those top areas. So the top area first, public transportation. Second, museums, train stations, restaurants, cafes, bars, the beach. The beach is the big one a lot of people don't think about, and retail stores and markets. So those are obviously all the public places, but you really want to pay attention in the public transportation areas. Now, you were in Europe recently. We talked about body language tips. I want you to share some tips to avoid pickpockets in the first place.
Yeah, so I was in 2 of the top cities on our list, both Paris and Florence. So I had done some research beforehand and talked to Vanessa, who's done a lot of traveling. Number 1 tip, mainly for my females, but for my males out there too that have wedding rings or any jewelry, leave the expensive, valuable jewelry at home. It's not worth worrying about it or having to put it in the safe every other time that you're leaving. So if you wear something, you know, a little cheap ring, or you wear your sterling silver rather than your 14 karat gold, basically the best way is to sort of avoid or...
Attraction.
Right.
Nothing flashy.
Fly under the radar.
Yeah, fly under the radar. That's the easiest one. Don't keep anything value. Now, sometimes you're going to have valuable things, especially your cameras or your camera equipment, your luggage. Since this happens a lot of the times in public transportation areas, we were talking about what do you do in train stations?
So the best thing in a train station to do, especially when a train is approaching a stop. So if you have to go 4 stops and you're stopping every time in between, anytime that the train starts to slow down, you want to have hands on your luggage, or have your luggage as a visual. So if you can have your luggage near you to keep tabs on it, or have the visual of it up ahead, that way someone who is maybe running through the train really quickly, what can sometimes happen is they grab the luggage right before the train stops and then they're out.
Yeah, perfect. And a couple things to watch out for. So if you already have your hand on your luggage, it's great. What you want to watch out for is people who are single males, typically lone wolfers, who are moving very quickly through a train and have no bags themselves. It's a little peculiar to be walking from car to car to car without a bag. Typically, they're looking at the bags around, they're scoping what they can then grab and run off with. So make sure that you're looking out for those lone, fast-moving people in a train. You also want to, interestingly, our researcher Robbie found this, fidgeting. So sometimes if they're trying to distract you with something, if they come up close to you, you might be looking at their hands or looking at something they're holding and not realize where actually they're trying to pickpocket you or take something. We also talked about straps.
Yes,
purses.
so crossbody, if you have a crossbody purse or a crossbody messenger bag, it's harder for a pickpocket to come and just take it. So if you have a one-shoulder bag or a clutch, it's really easy to grab and go. Some places also offer a crossbody that cannot be cut. So some pickpocketers, that's a hard one to say.
Pickpotter, yeah. Pickpotter.
They're a little fancy, and they might have a knife or scissors to cut the bag right off of you. So if you have a chain or one of those snip-resistant bags, that's something to look into as well.
And men, so if you carry a wallet and you can put a rubber band around your wallet, that can help so that you don't get fingers going in and taking out credit cards or cash. So if you can get a zip wallet or put a rubber band around your wallet, that can also help make sure that no one can slip in and take. And the last thing I was going to say is to make sure that your personal zone is not entered. So what often happens, we all have zones around us. It's called proxemics in body language. Our personal zone is, we're in the personal zone right now because we're personal, so it's good. And she's not going to pickpocket me, I know. I don't have any pockets, actually, for you to pickpocket me.
It's true.
So you want to watch out for people entering into your personal zone. And often this happens with an excuse. Someone can ask, oh, could you take a picture of me with this camera? Or, oh my gosh, is this your credit card that you dropped? And they hand it to you when they're in your personal zone. So be very aware of anytime someone enters that personal zone, make sure you're checking or keeping just a watchful eye on your pockets and your bags. I've even heard that in some places they have a ruse with a partner where they'll have someone spray water, and then someone at a neighboring table will be like, oh my gosh, dry you off. And as they're drying you off and helping you, they're actually taking what's in your pocket. So be aware of your personal zone. Don't let anyone cross into it. Mostly, be aware.
Be aware, especially in moments of awe. So when you see the Eiffel Tower,
yes.
you're at the Louvre, or you get off the train at Venice, people are looking for tourists. It's very easy when your jaw is open. Oh my gosh,
yes.
this is amazing. So in those moments, again, just be aware of your belongings, of your proxemics with other people, and keeping your eyes open.
And we want to keep you safe at Science People, so if you have any other tips, put them below the video. And we also created a playlist for you on some of the psychology and science of pickpocketing, actual videos of people being pickpockets you could watch if you feel like consuming a few hours to protect yourself before your next trip. Enjoy it. Bye.
Bye.